بناون تنجبار أخا بويانا بليشانة إنجلس نايم بليشانة إنجلس أديا أخنن هادوروخ قد شدرخلا إن بيايتون خناشة تانيلو خون مناي دم خبرانه أديا دان والله قد أمتديا لازت تشيغانو بر جيدانه وهمزمه وديوما أخنن جري بخاقال راما بخاريش راما همزمخ أخنن اتلن جشمه اتلن شوتاسه بطلابخ منه بوش بقال راما بوش بخاريش راما هم جانه مغزيله هم دا قاله مرميل أبيا بتأزخ al da statement control room when you guys are ready let me know أديا بتأزخ بدمضيخ كالدنيا قد آتورايا ليلميتا آتورايا إيل خايا وبتباش خايا أخنن إيوخ كل خامنن خادانا دوخنوشا آتورايا مسج إيلا من خادانا دوخنوشا آتورايا قد شمو إيلا نينوس قا حكمة عراق وقجانو أسامة. Are we ready?
On the 31st of last month in Baghdad's Sayyidat al-Najat Cathedral, half a dozen gunmen claiming to represent the Islamic State of Iraq, an Al-Qaeda front organization, seized the Assyrian Christian church and began, one by one, to snuff out the lives of 70 innocent and defenseless members of the congregation. Among the victims, pregnant women, helpless infants. This bloodbath represents the latest in an accelerating campaign of violence aimed at the heart of Iraqi Christendom, a relentless rampage of atrocities that began in 2004 and has been prosecuted with ever-increasing vigor, a campaign explicitly designed to bring about the extermination of all Assyrian Christians in Iraq. This ceaseless press of violence has resulted in the countless murders and rapes of unarmed innocents. It has included the systematic firebombing of 66 houses of worship and literally hundreds of places of business. Throughout this brutal campaign, the Iraqi community of Assyrian Christians have received neither aid nor protection from the government in Baghdad. What we are witnessing is nothing less than a genocidal assault on a peaceful, productive, indigenous culture. A unique regional Christian tradition that predates the emergence of Islam by more than half a millennia, and a broader cultural tradition that traces its roots back to the ancient sands of Nineveh, capital city of the Assyrian Empire, and the birthplace of Western civilization. The Assyrian men and women who are even now struggling to survive the senseless tidal wave of hatred-fueled violence represent the last in an unbroken line extending back to the earliest and most noble of civilizing traditions. They are our living link to the earliest peoples that rose from the wilds to create a blueprint for harmonious human civilization. They carry in their hearts, in their blood, the ancient spark of creative genius that allowed man to codify justice into law, that brought into being the healing arts, that gave us artists who gave ethereal beauty solid form, that birthed written language, mathematics, and engineering. These people are nothing less than the keepers of the eternal flame of knowledge and peace, originally ignited by King Sargon and passed down the corridors of time to this very day, the light of which we are all the inheritors. The blood that carries these gifts is precious, but now it is being spilled out of ignorance, jealousy, and spite, the very best of humanity snuffed out by the very worst. The Islamic tradition is one of peace, love, and wisdom. You seek to live in harmony with the wishes of a just and loving God. As Assyrian Christians, we too strive in the service of that very same God, the God of the book, the God of Abraham, the God from whom we all came to be. This God, our God, cannot possibly want us to raise arms against one another. Our God would not want his Assyrian sons butchered by those claiming to be his servants, claiming to be disciples of Islam. This sadly brings us to Osama bin Laden and his shadowy gang of extremist mercenaries known as Al-Qaeda, the principal perpetrators of these crimes against humanity. To you, Mr. bin Laden, I ask, did Allah dispatch Gabriel to tell Muhammad that slitting the throats of 7-month-old babies and the murder of pregnant women is the way of the Lord? Does the God of the book demand that his followers commit genocide against others who also worship him? Does he demand of those who are obedient to his will that men and women whose only crime is that their ancestors created human civilization be ruthlessly butchered? The answer is clear. The God of the book asks none of these things. The angel Gabriel gave Muhammad no such directive. This point is beyond argument, and it is beyond contradiction. Now I must ask you, Mr. Osama bin Laden, what God do you serve? To what deity do you give your allegiance? What is the name of this God who would have you kill babies? Who do you serve? I submit that it is time for you to choose a side, to join Islam and live by the precepts of the just Allah, or to reveal yourself as a man who has chosen to follow some other God, a God whose name you refuse to speak. If you are obedient to and penitent before Allah, then I invite you to rejoin Islam, lead a life of peace, and take your jihad within. If you refuse to recognize the wishes of Allah, then have the courage to declare it. Stop hiding in the robes of a just God and proclaim yourself an infidel. Tell the world the truth. I serve a God that wills me to kill babies. This is Ninos, an Assyrian, keeper of the legacy of the mightiest military the world has ever known, now a soldier without an army. Thank you.
بني أمتي مغبة أني هم زمانه يا قويرة أني هم زمانه أخنن جري هم زمخلون ولتلن زدوتا وطاشات تجانا بس بايلا أني جوانك خاماتت كت بياينا بلخي كدا أمتا خدشا بوش شابرتا خدشا إيدت ويدال دوكيلا أنا خبنوشي إيفن وأنا كليم فادفن أنا إيفن خادانا من دوخنوشت أمتا أطوريتا قدمنا دي بتايل من أشورباني بالا أنا إيفن خادانا دوخنوشا بلكت لتلي جيسا برخاصي إنا دمة لبة وهونا قد إيل جابي إيل اتخادانا دوخنوشا قد بدجانو داوخلا قداها أمتا إن آتن يا خمتا يا جوانقا جانوخ بدايوت ين جانخ بدايوت إيتون دوخنوشي قدا أمتن مسكنتا وديو دانولا إيدت ويدال دوقيتون لا پلخيتون مويدال ولا نخبيتون من هيچ خواب برناشا چونكت اوت قد بريان إلي ديال مويل بريا اخنن ليوخ چوبه ادون تت آون مارل انا بريوخون ايون اخصال مدگاني ليلة زبلة بريا بريا لخامندي رابا خيلانا و جبار ارگانو اخچي اخنني وقت جري ريشخ جاود جانن ريشخ و پرميخ ماي ايوخ جدن تري البشنه شولانت قد لا جري آتي و بريشن كل الدنيا ميالون بريشن و اديو يوما يدورت اسريخا اخنن خينا ايوخ لخا قدبخا جري كالخ الحقياتن الزتقن جري پلخخ مويدال لتلن شارا دنيا كمتا ايوه رابا جورتا وديو دنيا رابا سرتويتلا وديو كلن كمسخ مويدال اوخ جوخا اوتخ تيوه الكمبيوتر ويدال خزخ كونفرنس مويدال كمسخ پلخخ ان اخنن ان عادت شابيرت قد عادية اتن لما بلخخنون اخدان جكا كدا امتا اخنن برشبخ قد خينا شمن ماشي من البات دا ارقا قد يوخون يادا جالت امتان بس من دن دجلة وبولاغة بروقون جوانك وخاماتت قد عادية دماغاتا اتلنجابه بدآتي بدماشيلوخون من جبات دا ارقا يادا جاله اخنوخون لزبنون دم داها امتن لزبنون يرتوتت امتن اخنوخون بتپیشیتون دینه و بتپیشیتون پرپس بإيدات الجانو علاهن جشمية